For introductions, first I'd like to introduce, to my right is Rob Duva. He's the co-founder and CMO of RingRevenue, which is a leader in providing call performance marketing solutions. So during his presentation, you'll get a chance to understand exactly what that is and how that can benefit you as an affiliate marketer. To his right, we have Eric Collins, who is the COO of Mobile Posse. This is a solution company whose product powers CRM, or customer relationship management solutions, for mobile carriers such as Verizon, Cricket, and Metro PCS. And then on the very end, we've got Marcie Sillman, who is the founder and CEO of Spot Out. This is a very large price comparison site for the outdoor industry. He's taken that foundation and used it to develop KidCrawl.com because he is one of two gentlemen on this panel who are actually expecting this year in the next couple of months. Mark uses technology such as video, mobile, and social media to drive traffic, so it'll be great to hear from him as well. I'd like to point out that if you have any questions, we will be taking questions at the end of the presentation. And so this slide right here will be up in case you'd like to tweet it in instead of just coming up to mic. Either way you decide to do it would be great. Myself, my name is Carolyn Tang. I am the Director of Affiliate Marketing at Groupon.com. Prior to that, I was working at ShareSale.com, so I may know some of you from there as well. All right, so to go over our agenda, we're going to take a look at the origin of the affiliate marketing species. Within affiliate marketing, there are three parties. There's a consumer, the affiliate, and the merchant. So we're going to see how all three entities kind of evolved together in response to certain events or certain trends that were happening online and offline. And then we're going to take a look at specific new trends that are probably going to occur down the road. Call performance marketing, mobile and video marketing, and then we'll take a quick look at what possible consequences we're going to see as a result of these technologies. So first of all, in case any of you guys are new to Affiliate Summit, the affiliate marketing model is essentially affiliate marketers are compensated for driving traffic and sales to retailers. You'll notice in this definition, I'm not saying how you're driving traffic. Traditionally, you drive traffic from one online site to another online site, and that's how affiliate marketing got its start. But if you go back to the whole idea of commission-based marketing, we've got the Avon ladies back in the 1886, you know, and then you go from 1886 to 1990, and all of a sudden you've got the same model, but it's been taken online and it's been adapted. Very early on, when we looked at affiliate marketing, we only saw text ads or we saw banner ads. It was very passive, billboard-style marketing. There was no context around it. It was basically just put a banner up and see if you could get somebody to click through it. Back then, you know, your prevailing model was CPM. How many views could your banner get? What we're looking at now is based on performance. How many clicks are you going to get, or how many sales are you able to drive? So I don't know if any of you guys have seen this before, but the very first, or one of the very first banner ad campaigns occurred in 1994 when Hotwire created this banner for AT&T. The whole idea was that when consumers saw a banner, they didn't realize that there was any action associated with it. So what happened was a simple ad that added an action to it got so many click-throughs. The ad company that created this was, I'm not going to pronounce it, you can see it up there, something like Schmetterer. But their idea was, it's better to ask for forgiveness afterwards rather than permission. When they were working with their clients, it was so hard for them to sell the concept of a website that what they did was they just went ahead and built it anyway and then decided to, you know, once they had the results, then they went back to the client and said, this is what a website does. It was that hard to sell a website. So at the very early stages of the internet, if you go all the way back in the day, the consumers wanted to explore their new playground. They had all these smiley, you know, these smiley icons, all these blinking things. They loved animation. They loved all the colors. They loved being able to click around. They didn't really think about the consequences. They were just happy clicking everything, seeing what would happen. But then, as they realized, as they got tired of all the shticks, all the animation, they lost interest in the flashing marquees. So the marketers realized in order to come against this, what they needed to do was adapt. They started taking a look at contextual marketing. So I'm sure what you guys are all familiar with is Google AdSense. The ads that display within that ad unit are geared off of the content that's within the site that's surrounding it. Another example is Contera. Instead of showing the contextual ads on the right in a specific ad banner, Contera will actually embed the ad within the context of the article. When that first came out, there was a big backlash because if the New York Times had an article, and the New York Times is known for credibility, yet a word in the article actually turns out to be an ad, I mean, that might be considered a little bit too invasive. So what happened was consumers started to backfire. They started saying, well, this is all these advertisements are interfering with my browser experience. There's an invasion of privacy for any of these sites to know what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm reading. It was too much for the consumer. So what the merchants realized, okay, well, we'll evolve again. We're going to focus now on relevancy, and I think this is where we are today. If you take a look at the program I run, which is Groupon, we basically provide a daily deal for any particular market. So if you're in Chicago, you'll get a deal for 50% off a restaurant. How we serve our affiliates is we've created a dynamic widget, so if you put that on your site, instead of showing a piece of an advertisement that's related to the content of your site, we're showing an advertisement that's related to your viewer. So if your viewer is based in Chicago, we'll actually show you the Chicago deal of the day. Another great example is Amazon's Omakase. I mean, this is another dynamic banner that relies on your prior purchasing history or the context of the page to actually merchandise products within the ad unit. Another great example is Best Buy Remix. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's a series of APIs that Best Buy has put together with the goal of allowing the affiliate to use the data however they saw fit to market to their audience. So if you're a blog that focuses specifically on televisions, you can look at the Best Buy API, which is just basically a list of all their products, and pull out televisions because that's going to be relevant to your audience. Basically, merchants are trying to provide the data to the affiliate marketer so that the affiliate marketer can then determine what is most relevant to the visitor. And as we go forward, the whole idea now is that affiliate marketing is no longer restricted to the computer. It's no longer restricted to the display unit. It's completely device agnostic. And so the image I want you to keep in mind as we go through these speakers is that there is no spoon, there is no internet, there is no laptop, there is no monitor. Okay, and with that, I'd like to pass it over to Rob to explain what RingRevenue does.
Thanks, Carolyn. I'm going to talk about call performance marketing. We're going to walk through some of the challenges that the affiliate space has experienced over the years that has resulted in the recent broad-based adoption of pay-per-call solutions in the industry. And we're going to talk through some of the results that call performance marketers have experienced in the past year. So I got started in affiliate marketing about 10 years ago, and as Carolyn mentioned, a lot has changed in the last 10 years. But there are certain things that have not changed. Advertisers are looking to drive more high-quality sales for the lowest cost possible. Publishers are looking to get compensated for all that traffic that they drive to their advertisers. And from a consumer standpoint, there's still three fundamental ways in which those transactions are being completed. They're being completed online, they're being completed in the store, and they're being completed over the phone. So call performance marketing focuses on those that are happening over the phone. So it used to be that publishers hated sending traffic to advertiser landing pages when there was a phone number included on them. The reason that they hated this was because they couldn't get credit for those calls. They're spending money on their media, they're driving it to the advertiser's landing page, and for those consumers that picked up the phone to call, they weren't able to properly get compensated for that. So they worked with those advertisers that they wanted to run promotions for to remove those phone numbers from those landing pages and create custom landing pages to support the affiliate channel. Well, that didn't work all that well. Advertisers don't necessarily have phone numbers on their landing pages because they want to. They have phone numbers on their landing pages because their customers want them to. Customers that are calling in, especially in those higher end, more consultative types of products and services, education, healthcare, financial services, high-end consumer electronics and appliances. They've got questions. Can you ship it by Tuesday? Can I get it in stainless? And they want to talk to somebody. So the process of removing those phone numbers did not work out well. And ultimately, best practices kind of going forward are to try and make sure that the customer has the opportunity to interact the way they want to interact with the advertiser. Mobile. 10 years ago, a few of us were carrying around cell phones in our pocket, and now pretty much all of us are. But transacting on that mobile device, on that small screen, still remains very challenging. There's still only a small percentage of consumers that are going through and entering in their credit card information and entering in their personal information to complete those purchases on the small screen. But what does come very naturally to those mobile users, when they do see a phone number, they can click on that phone number and get in contact with the advertiser that they're looking to reach. So going forward, we're trying to encourage more and more folks to make sure that they're including those phone numbers as part of their mobile ads as well as their mobile landing pages. Local. So in the local space, we haven't seen a lot of adoption by local merchants running affiliate programs. And one of the reasons for that is because they haven't built out sophisticated back-end e-commerce. They primarily transact by somebody walking into their store and completing the purchase there, or by calling in and doing it over the phone. But with the advancements in some of the tracking technology here and new companies that are emerging like Groupon to focus more on those local merchants and provide solutions, that's starting to change. And I think going forward, we're going to see a lot more adoption of local merchants moving into the affiliate space. And there's a good session tomorrow, I think at about 2 o'clock, focusing specifically on why affiliates should be dominating the local search marketing space. So if you do have an opportunity, go check that out at 2 o'clock. Offline publishers. There's about $300 billion a year being spent in the US on advertising. 90% of those budgets are being spent offline. And when advertisers think about how they want to allocate those budgets, they typically don't think about moving more of that offline spend into the affiliate space. But that dynamic is changing as well. We are seeing that with the call traffic that is flowing through the affiliate space now through our platform, that about 50% of those calls are being generated by offline and mobile publishers. Telecom has changed a lot over the last 10 years as well. It has gotten less expensive. And when we started our company, RingRevenue, a few years ago, we looked at all the different solutions that were out there to try and solve some of the problems that we talked about from a tracking standpoint to make sure affiliates could get credit. And we looked at coupon-related code tracking that customers had to speak into the agents and have that credit back. We looked at click-to-call related technologies more in the traditional online sense, where you had to fill out a form and a call would come back to you. And that didn't scale as well from the customers that we were talking to. They wanted a solution that operated similar to how clicks operate online. Publishers are given those unique URLs, and that's how they're compensated today based on that tracking code. So we developed a solution that allows publishers to activate unique phone numbers and use them like they use their URLs. They're unique to them. They get compensated based on the promotions that they're running into those unique phone numbers. So helping enable them to track calls like clicks so that they can get credit for all the transactions that they're driving. 2010 was a great year for call performance marketing. We saw nearly all the leading affiliate networks adopt pay-per-call solutions. Hundreds of advertiser campaigns, pay-per-call focused campaigns, were launched in the past year. Over 25,000 publishers have signed up for those campaigns. They're generating millions in new sales for advertisers. Publishers are making millions. Some individual publishers on individual campaigns are generating over $100,000 a month. But the ROI and the conversion metrics associated with calls is much different than what it is with clicks. The average click may convert at 1 to 3%, but the average call converts at about 30 to 50%. And oftentimes at higher average order values. 1.5 to 2 times the average order value is what we're seeing. And that's because the advertiser has an opportunity to engage directly with that consumer and customize that sale and that purchase for them. We're also seeing a significant lift in click-through rates. When those phone numbers are included in the ad, more customers seem willing to engage with those advertiser placements. And that's not necessarily that they're all going to pick up the phone and call, but they're clicking through at higher rates, 5 to 30%. And as we talked about, mobile is continuing to grow. It's a very natural transaction for those folks that are consuming content on that mobile device. But regardless of what marketing channel you're using, call performance marketing helps to improve the overall ROI of those placements, whether it's including phone numbers in social media, whether it's including them in email, search. It's helping create lift across the board, both for the advertiser and for the publisher. So what does call performance marketing mean for the continued evolution of affiliate marketing? More advertisers, more offers, more budget, more publishers participating. The way we think about it is more calls equals more money for everyone. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Eric. Eric is no stranger to call performance marketing. In fact, probably in the time that we've all been sitting here, Mobile Posse has probably generated a couple thousand calls for their advertisers. So.
Thank you all very much, and thanks, Mark, for the introduction. So what I'll try and do is I'm going to try and place mobile within the context of its current incarnation. Mobile Posse is one solution, but there are a number of other solutions which you find in the marketplace which are delivering this call volume that we're talking about, and that call volume which has helped to prove out the case for why mobile is here to stay. Let me start here, and maybe then by the end of this you'll understand how this all comes together, and maybe it'll explain a few things like AdMob and some other sorts of solutions that you see out there. So Mobile Posse, unlike say AdMob, unlike Millennial, unlike AdMarvel, unlike Quattro, I think those are probably names that you've all heard for one reason or another. Some have been purchased for very large numbers by other organizations. We are an organization that actually works with the carriers directly. That's who our relationship, our original contract is with the carrier. In fact, the relationship is such that we would call ourselves the exclusive publisher to the idle screen of Verizon, Metro PCS, go on and on and on. What we do is we then, by working with the operator, we are able to have the OEMs, the Samsungs, the HTCs, the RIMs of the world, the Nokias and the Motorolas to preload our technology onto the handset before it ships. And then to be able to, when you are going into and activating your account, you actually are then activating our technology, which allows us to be able to send messages to you. If you remember when Carolyn introduced me, she talked about CRM. So we start off with the CRM sort of a messaging. What does your rate plan look like? Are you actually going over your rate plan on a monthly basis? It quickly evolves into the same messaging platform is one that can be used for advertising, and where we're getting all the calls that Mark is talking about and how we're able to drive those. One of the things that gives value on behalf of the customer who actually has the technology on their handset is that we actually send down a lot of content to them, free content which is sponsored. All right, so if you look at that, you'll see that we have listed, say at 8 o'clock in the morning, we send down to your idle screen when you're just getting out of bed, we send you your local weather forecast. You can decide how to get dressed and how to get the kids dressed. During the middle of the day, we send you a coupon for a local lunch special. So that's something that goes to this question of localization. Then at 2 p.m. when things are getting a little bit boring around the water cooler, we send you something about some sports scores updates. Then at 5 p.m. we look at gas price. Send you some local gas prices so that when you're going home, you can decide where you're going to go to fill up in order to do your commute the next day. And finally, at 7 p.m. there's some discount tickets that we talk about. That's a way that we find to actually customize in many ways the experience for the consumer on their handset, which feels like a very, very personal product, and make sure that they're getting some value for the things that we're actually sending, which in time become very ad heavy. One of the things that we thought might make sense, that this group discussing what might make sense, is to talk a little bit about how the idle screen, and if you think about your telephone, there are many parts of your cell phone. The idle screen is the thing that you're looking at right now. If it's black, that's the idle screen. If it has something on it, like you're sort of doing your email or something, that's not the idle screen. The idle screen is when it's dark. If you're going into your browser, that's not the idle screen, and you get a banner, that's an interstitial ad that's sent during the search function. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the first one. When your phone is dark, then that's an ad that comes to you. So when you're thinking about the idle screen and how it actually works in the affiliate ad perspective, we have many of those examples, but wanted to actually give you a tier 1 advertiser for automotive that wrote up a case study in the eMarketer in June of this year about a campaign that they actually did. This information, we're not going to walk through this in detail because the information is available for you online. Remember, all of the presentations that you have here are actually available to you. So please go look at this article. But it does show that even in a situation where you can't really buy a Ford Taurus online, what you can do is you can actually generate call volume by clicking to find a dealer close to you and schedule your test drive. And that's what this campaign was all about. How do you push the metal by being able to get people to click, to call, to schedule, to drive? Get people in the point of intention, and then eventually get them out the door with hopefully a Ford underneath their seats. That's that particular campaign. Do you think I should talk more about that?
I love it, yeah. Explain how the ad actually
Oh, thank you. Carolyn tells me I should explain how the ad actually works. So what actually occurs is, again, if you'll remember from back here, you have some times during the day when the ad is actually delivered to your idle screen. Say this one is delivered at 5 o'clock on a Friday because most people do their shopping for their new cars during the weekend. So you send this ad to them, see the all-new Ford Taurus now. That would be a banner ad that would appear on your idle screen. Again, if you're on the telephone, if you're sending a text message to try and figure out where the kids are, if you're trying to organize what you're going to do for dinner or what movie you're going to go to see, you're not going to actually see this ad. But what you will see, if you do see the banner, is the opportunity to take one call of action or another, either click to see the rest of it to view, or if you push any other button other than that one button, you'll dismiss it. If you click, you'll then see a rich media ad, and that rich media ad unit is the one that you see, which is the second item up there, and that's sort of an expanded view of the Taurus. What we found in this campaign, interestingly enough, was you got 20% click-through. And I would say in this campaign as if that's exceptional, but in almost all campaigns, I think Mark talked about a very high call volume that you get and the percentage that you are able, not to convert, but at least who call from a telephone number. We find that when you have had people opt into a service, you are delivering something in a timely fashion. It's pretty sort of sexy in terms of its richness, in terms of media, and optimized for the screen size, sent at a time which seems to make sense. Then the click-through rate gets to be relatively extreme. And so the click-through rate in this situation, as reported in this case study, was 20%. That 20%, if you look then at the results in the final column, speak to actually driving about 270,000 calls about the Ford Taurus. Which is a relatively large number for them. In fact, it is a very large number for Ford to have experienced. But do you get the sort of idea? Start off with a little banner, decide whether or not you're going to click on it. If you click on it, then you get an expanded rich media ad, and you can go from that, and there are several calls for action which can come at the end of that. I won't go over this slide, but I might give you another case study which has to do with couponing. One of the interesting things about mobile is that with the versatility of the technology and the speed with which you are able to change things allows you to, even on feature phones, not just smartphones, so not just on iPhones, not just on Android phones, but on multiple phones, to be, and almost all operating systems, to be able to take calls of action that are relatively complex. You can click to SMS. You can click to go to a URL. You could click to go to Facebook. You could have people joining your Facebook page from an ad that's going to be on your cell phone. You could then also click to call for sure. In this situation, you're clicking to coupon, so that you want to get a coupon that's going to be associated at lunchtime with a value deal that's happening at Jack in the Box. Again, this is a live case that's actually been written up. And here you can see that what we actually did was we didn't have a point of sale solution where you were able to sort of take your screen of your cell phone and then have it scanned, but you were given a code, a coupon code. You're able to present that at the point of sale, and you were able to get the savings that were associated with that. And this, based on sending it to about 1 million people, actually got us to a redemption rate of almost 3% of consumers who clicked on that first banner, which again, for Jack in the Box was very extraordinary sort of effectiveness in terms of the ability to engage an audience. And that's one of the things that we find also with mobile, that that you are really engaging people in their personal space in a place that's considered very, very private. And one of the things that we have noted is that when you do that, you find yourself sometimes invading people's privacy. Multiple impressions of the same ad. You know, people in this space really require very different sorts of ads, day to day, minute to minute, so that they actually feel as though they're getting new information as opposed to being harassed. They have a much lower tolerance, and the consequences for brands as well as for services being turned off or brands getting negative impressions is very extreme. So we have to be very careful in this mobile space when we're getting to there. The final case study is, again, something that I would welcome you all when you sort of download the presentation to take a look at, and this one goes to Ace Hardware. Again, when Mark was talking, Mark talked about you can resolve the intent of a consumer online, in store, or over the phone, and when we're at the phone, one of the holy grails is, can you get people to actual buying behavior in big boxes? Can you get them to sort of see something on their cell phone, even if it's not location aware, even if it's not, you're not sort of sitting next to and then can cash a coupon in the Starbucks, which is on the corner? Can you get people to take something like a circular and then use that to drive behavior in store? Sort of one of the holy grails of this type of advertising. And so this is an example for you all to look at. And with that, we want to talk about something which is even more interesting and innovative, particularly with the entertainment companies, the dynamism that can happen in mobile advertising and affiliate marketing when you put video to work in your ads. And let me introduce Mark.
My name is Marcie Sillman. I own Spout.com. Basically, we're a price comparison site for the outdoor industry. And what I'm going to be talking about is how video can be monetized using affiliate marketing. Now, this is a tad futuristic because we're not seeing very many affiliates do this yet. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare how YouTube makes money with videos and compare that about how affiliate marketing can make a lot more money with affiliate marketing with video than YouTube can. So this is YouTube's solution. I like to call it whack-a-mole advertising. The reason why I call it whack-a-mole advertising is because I believe the majority of their click-through rate is people that miss the X, which you can see on the top right of the banner there. I mean, the 3 pixel by 3 pixel banner situation isn't very good. You can also see the amazing revenue that they can generate from 296,000 views that this video series received. Now, to back up a little bit, what this video series is one of the challenges of selling outdoor gear online is that it's fairly technical gear that we sell. We're looking at high price point, high margin gear, which is designed for extreme athletes. And one of the ways that we fix this is by creating video series. This is one of them. This is basically telling people how to install high-end bike parts. And this series got 296,000 views on YouTube. And the way, by the way, for those that don't know that YouTube pays people, is after you get around the 20,000 threshold, they contact you and offer you an agreement so that you can get some of the money. So they paid us a whopping $541 for that entire set. And you can see some of the problems with YouTube's solution. For one, it's that they're advertising on a biking page. I mean, obviously, maybe I looked at IGN before I looked at this, I don't know. But regardless, it's not really in context. Secondarily, it looks like an ad, it feels like an ad, and it has no value-adding purpose to the video. And so finally, you can see that it has less than a cent per view is the payout. Now, this is spat out solution. One of the things that we do is we offer directly on the product page, we allow people to click on the product. And so whenever we mention the product is now clickable. So for one thing, we've made it a feature. It's not an ad anymore. This goes directly into our price comparison tools, doing a casual 114-fold better than YouTube can with a similar amount of traffic. Now, this is obviously a small example, but you can imagine on the large scale how these videos work, because the user wants to know how to do this. They're directly searching for this. You give them a solution and you tell them exactly what you need. That works extremely well. The users don't see it as an ad, it's not annoying, and it's a feature. It also is extremely simple. You're going to find other solutions out there on the internet. There's ones that slide in, ones that do all types of things like that. But this simple solution of showing the product directly on the video as well as running a side panel. And what the side panel does is, let's say if 10 products are done, well, as soon as one shows up, it's added to the side panel and it keeps pushing it down. Now, one of the problems about using video online is that there are a few solutions in the network, but really none of the networks have done it correctly. Now, one of the ways that you can do this is I went ahead and released the source code. It's on VID, so vidalf.com, AFF.com. That's the entire source code. You can just use source. It's basically a GUI system, but it's all JavaScript. It's built on top of an open source system called FlowPlayer. So you can download that, install it, and directly use it. This is good on two fronts. It's good for affiliates, obviously, who can make this content, and it's also good for merchants who want to release this content to their targeted affiliates. So for example, if you were a bike shop, you could reverse the game, create this high quality content in-house, and release it to your affiliates as a feature. Now, I'm going to talk shortly about what type of videos do work and what types don't work. One of the things that we're seeing online is that a lot of the merchants are interested in getting into video. For example, ShareSale has integrated a tool that does something like this, but what we're seeing is that the merchants are making ads. So in other words, they might be like, this is why we're great, so-and-so.com, right? And really nobody wants that. They want content. You got to create high quality content. So get away from the idea that you should make a commercial like it would be on TV, because that's never going to work online. Nobody's going to search for it. A couple examples of what do work are the how-to formats, which is kind of like this. Also on top of that, reviews work really, really well. So let's say if you're critiquing different products on a video, once again, plug it directly into the video. Another one that works well in my industry is athlete profiles. So for example, if you have athletes which are doing a sport, well, while you see the athlete, you can mention all the products that they're using, what they're wearing, etc. This could also be used, for example, on someone in the fashion industry that was had a video of the runway or something. Every single time a new piece of fashion came down the runway, you could plug that specific item. Once again, avoiding the whole ad context, doesn't feel like an ad, and they convert drastically better than ads. Where I want to see this go, and we haven't seen this done either, once again futuristic, is the affiliate networks could develop systems which would allow one-click additions of bulk products. So in other words, once again, going back to this example, if there were 4 products required to achieve this task, the next generation of affiliate networks can provide a one-click solution to go directly to that retailer, add all 4 or 3 or whatever it is products to the page, and a one-click checkout. That is going to be the next generation of this, and I hope that we'll see that real soon. So that's the basics on video marketing. I'll pass it back to Carolyn.
So the question is, you've heard all these new ways that people are doing affiliate marketing. Is mobile the new internet? What is the new thing? When the web first came around, if you remember from the beginning of the presentation, when the web first came around, it was basically a playground for people to click around, download smileys, all sorts of things like that. And then when the response rate dropped off, the merchants responded and started providing more relevancy in their advertising. From everything that we're hearing here, relevancy really is the key to making sure that that your consumer is going to click through. But what's so exciting right now about mobile is that it now has become the playground for people. People are getting ads sent to their phones and they're clicking through because it's fascinating, because it's interesting to see something that's relevant to them. But what we need to do is maintain standards. So as all these new marketing channels open, as long as we remember that relevancy is the most important thing in advertising, we'll continue to see success. So is mobile the new internet? What kind of consequences are there? We're taking a look at the same thing that we saw when the web first came out. We're taking a look at privacy issues, whether or not deals are going to go viral. If you have a coupon code and you're trying to control it, I mean, you can't control a coupon code on the internet. Same thing on mobile. As soon as you put a coupon code out there, it's just going to go viral, so you need to be able to work that into your margins. There's going to be opt-in questions. Did that person opt in to use mobile Posse on their phone? And FTC policies, are we allowed to market to people? What are the restrictions? All these things are out there. And with that, I'm going to open the floor for questions. Also, if any of you guys know what these are, go ahead and take it. It's our contact information. While you're doing that, actually, you know what? I'm going to flip it back to something else, so put your phones away for just 1 second. I'm going to take questions first. To the first 5 people that actually submit a question via this format, I've got a $5 coupon that you can use at Groupon, so I'll give that to you if you come back up afterwards. So for the first 5 tweets that come in, all you need to do is text ASW 118B and your message to 22333. Or you can tweet it, or you can submit it if you got your laptop open. Go ahead and do that as well. A shout out to Mark. I'm not sure qualifies as a question. But our ads, the first question is, are ads on my idle screen going to drain my battery?
Good question. The ads on your idle screen, there's sort of a user experience issue that has to be balanced with the ability for a promoter, whoever's promoting that, to actually be seen. Although people look at their cell phone idle screens about 11 times an hour, there are long stretches when you're not looking. The way that we have found is sort of the best combination of actually making sure that a person has the opportunity to see the idle screen ad and then be able to react to it is to give a time of about 30 minutes that it will remain present on your idle screen. If you don't take any action, it will then go away. But one of the things that we found is that people don't want them just to go away, even if they've clicked through, unless they've dismissed it. If they haven't seen it, they often will go back to what we call almost our promotional DVR, which is called our recent offers menu, and they'll go back and look up something that was previously on their idle screen. They didn't have time to look at it. They were in the middle of it. They were on another telephone call, not on their handset, and they wanted to actually go back and see it. So they can actually find it without having to go through all sorts of machinations as to how do I retrieve that ad that looks so good but I didn't have time to respond to it. So no, it will not drain your battery life, and we've worked very hard to make sure it will.
You're not off the hook yet.
Oh, crap. That's better, huh?
Can somebody develop an app that would block your ads?
Boy. Can someone develop...
Why would they want to do that?
Yeah, why? Good point. Thank you. We're adding so much value to everyone's life. Can someone develop an app to block the ad? We are really... So the difference between a downloaded app and a preloaded piece of technology is pretty, it's pretty extreme. So we are sort of embedded in the software stack. And, Samsung does that, HTC does that on Android phones, RIM does that. So we're actually there. You as a consumer can do things to make sure that you don't have to see. You can opt out even after having opted in. And so there are things that you can do to actually, on your own, manage your experience. The question of could you, I don't know technically, maybe you could, but I don't think that you actually have to. It's sort of it's a reasonable experience that I think people find good value in.
All right, the next question is for Rob. Do you have any examples of any big brand fashion or clothing retailers that have used call performance marketing successfully?
On the more traditional retail side, there are companies like Alltrek, more in the sporting goods space, that are running pay-per-call campaigns. There are a lot of the home service types of products, consumer electronics, Lenovo, Mac Mall. I don't know that we've got any specific ones more focused on the fashion side that come top of mind to me, but there are plenty of retailers out there that are having success with it, in addition to more of the traditional lead gen types of folks like the Allstate Insurance and the Cash Nets and those folks.
Yeah, I think it goes back to your point that it's more of a consultative sale. So maybe if there's like a personal stylist out there, that would be a good fit with call performance marketing.
May I say one thing, Carol?
Yeah.
We have had some examples of organizations that are aggregators of a particular category, such as handbags, so ebags.com. Those are organizations that will be able to sell with a click-to-call campaign directly through a mobile unit. But I have not seen, we haven't worked with Macy's, we haven't worked with JCPenney, we haven't done that.
But we're getting more interest in not just using the phone to connect directly to the agents, but to have people call in and opt in to receiving special promotions. And they can do that over the phone, opt in to receiving discounts and promotions via SMS, right, where those advertisers can then follow back up. And to the point that you were stressing earlier, when they want to get that relevant content, that it can be sent back to them on an SMS basis.
Right. Or to join a loyalty club or other things.
Sure.
Also, yeah.
All right, so this one is for Mark. It's a video marketing question. Are you afraid of YouTube embeds with Google comparison ads, and what is your USP?
Well, one of the disadvantages is you do have to have this on your own website currently. I mean, we're not going to see YouTube allowing you to put their own affiliate content directly. That's one of the disadvantages. So you have to have a site already that can drive the traffic versus YouTube where you just put it up there. So that's one of the reasons why they do that. What's the second question?
What's your USP?
Well, we use, you mean universal service provider? Or?
I'd say that sounds about right.
I'm sorry?
Unique selling proposition.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, what's going on here? Well, for why do we choose to use it? Is that the 10-second version?
I wasn't the one.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well, the reason why we can rationalize it in-house, I mean, the video content is relatively expensive to produce, but we can rationalize it because it's long-term content, especially in the outdoor space. I mean, people will be modifying their bikes for years to come, and the gear does not switch that quickly, so that's how we rationalize it.
All right. I'm not sure. I think, Eric, this might be for you. Is targeting available for iPhone on Verizon?
Verizon doesn't have the iPhone yet, I guess. So no.
Oh, it's announced.
It's announced.
Yesterday.
Oh, it was announced yesterday. Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't. We actually currently don't. But that's one of the things that I think makes wireless and particularly mobile very, very interesting, and the idle screen very valuable because of the ability to target and retarget. You know who your customer is, you know the handset that they're on, they've already opted in, so you can actually find out, and you can track what actions they're taking, and then retarget them for another campaign because they exist within your audience. So it's actually a nice way of doing things, but for the iPhone at the moment, no, not today. Maybe in a few months.
All right, and the last question that's been submitted on here is probably a pretty easy one. Can you recommend an outsourced service to answer calls for you?
There are a number of call centers that we wind up interacting with. We are not a call center ourselves, but if you want to stop by and see me after the panel, I'd be happy to make some recommendations.
Oh, go ahead.
Mark, can you tell me how you decide what video content to actually develop? What gives you the idea that it will monetize effectively to justify the cost of producing?
You know, to be honest with you, we flopped miserably in 2010. So we did a lot of creative content, and it actually did work out very, very well. But the gist of it, we did kind of like a news network thing, and that didn't work. We also did a viral-oriented one. And once again, basically the rule of thumb is what worked versus what didn't work. And what we've learned is that it has to be all about trying to fix a solution that requires gear to do it and is in a very technical nature. So basically what we've done is that we've, in other verticals where we have similar problems, we developed apps. But what doesn't work out that well is reviews can work, but there's still a little bit of a stretch. It tends to be the kind of more unique technical stuff. Though ironically, of all the videos, I mean, one of the most popular on our end is pretty basic, which is just how to change a bike chain. So, I mean, people need the basics sooner or later. But yeah, it just is, it has to be gear oriented and it has to require gear, is the 10-second version.
Go ahead.
This is for Garrett. Do you see, what percentage of the carriers are on the uptake for the advertising model?
If you're looking at mobile, I think overall, most advertisers already, because of organizations like, Quattro now, iAd, AdMob now, Google, those organizations, I think every organization in the United States that is a carrier actually already has ads that are being carried. Because we do deals and we revenue share with the carriers, we actually have to go through a process of proving out a value proposition, getting distribution, getting them to specify us for their handset manufacturer. So it's a bit more of an extended process. We have 5 carriers right now. We anticipate to increase that over the course of just this year, by 2 others. When you look at the carriers, Verizon is the biggest. Then in terms of Metro PCS contributes to a lot of handsets, Cricket, and then also Alltel. And then you'll see other tier 1s, we believe, in this year.
Are they moving to sender pay model for advertising?
Are they moving to, I couldn't hear.
Sender pays out?
No, not at the moment.
Do you see them talking about that at all?
I actually don't see that. I haven't heard that conversation at all. Tell me, do you think, have you been hearing in other places that would be, and you expect that would be?
They're testing it in other geographies.
Right,
Europe, I think.
right.
I think Britain's actually trying to lead the traders and groups in the
There is an organization that's a competitor of ours called Celtic in the UK. We only are domestic, so we haven't done anything actually overseas in any market. We haven't even done anything in Canada or Mexico, so we're really US-centric. But we do, so the challenges that they might be having are some things that I probably should be looking at, because they have been in business a little bit longer than we have, and probably those trends will sort of migrate their way across the ocean.
The sender pay model is what built the telephone solicitation,
Right,
right? And that's why toll-free numbers
right,
exist.
right.
But it hasn't ran to mobile
Hasn't been the conversation, no.
And then, do you think you'll see advertisements on the in-sync platform that Ford's promoting with Microsoft, particularly videos and geolocation? What new timeframe do you think that's going to evolve?
And can you put Groupon in them?
Yeah, Groupon should be everywhere. I live on Groupon myself. That's how I have so much cupcake. But so it's an interesting question for me in particular, because the organization I came from before I came to Mobile Posse was Nuance. Nuance is the company that powers InSync. It's the company that does all this, the ad, the vocal commands and the text-to-speech and speech-to-text, generally in the United States and around the world. The idea of how do you pay for, there are already models that exist, such as Free 411 and the like, that existed for some time, that already have ads that are embedded. The question as to, can you find a way to sort of decrease the cost for some, to make more affordable or even make free the cost of the in-sync service so that actually it's just not a one-shot deal or a one-year thing that comes along with your car. I don't have one. I think that's what happens, and then after that you have to pay. Is there a legitimate belief that you could actually have an advertising model to insert there and have either verbal ads or visual ads while you're turning on the system, and then and then after that there might be something that becomes a verbal ad? I can imagine that would happen. It seems like a nice place. You have a captured audience who is interested in location, who's interested in gas, who's interested in number of services along the road. And it's a nice lead, it's a good lead gen opportunity also. Lead gen everywhere, huh? Everywhere. Thank you.
All the way in the back?
The way that we rationalize putting our video content on YouTube is because, yes, it has obviously can attract a lot of more traffic, but what we do is then we add branding for our center website, which is spat out, of course. So that's the main way that we can rationalize it. Obviously, the revenue itself actually stopped filling out the applications because it's so low. But we put our logo directly through the entire video, as well as the front, as well as the end, and then you can actually put a link directly in the description. So we actually do find we can drive quite a bit of traffic and get a lot of branding out of the YouTubes. But directly revenue, no, I wouldn't recommend spending much time there.
We recommend putting phone numbers in the video content. We recommend putting phone numbers in the video content and trying to monetize through having people call in.
If I told you I had a viral YouTube account, that would generate, 20 click-through on Duva, it's not making you squat, but you're really alternative views, how would you stay monetized? Would you stay, even AdSense, or would you stay with the way you do it?
Sorry, I heard about 3/4 of that.
So say I came to you and said I had a viral YouTube account, and I wanted to monetize an AdSense, like, I was, maybe let's say 20 to 30,000 views a day. How would you guys, what would be a solution to that? Would you guys say keep it AdSense, or do you have a solution in terms of actually monetizing it?
My understanding is the top YouTube guys out there right now, they're not actually making, the videos that you see that get 10 to 100 million views are capping out at about $20,000 total for the video content. But the way that the guys are actually becoming substantially wealthy is because then if they can make a series of videos, so their account spiral, not just that individual video, is that the top marketing companies are hiring them to come to their events. One of the classic ones is a real well-known YouTube guy is Kasim G, and there's one of the rap companies hired him to come and be in one of the rap videos, which then he uploaded that video onto his account, which then got them a lot. And obviously he got paid substantially more than he would get directly off YouTube. So that's one of the ways that people are monetizing that.
All right, if there are no more questions, one last question in the back.
What's the future of cellular credit cards where at point of sale at a brick and mortar business, you can take a coupon code and then through a third-party biller or something like this, have a credit that maybe through your cellular bill or sent to your home through a third-party biller. Is there any future in that, and how can we get in on that?
I have an example of an app that I just started using. Groupon is located in a phenomenally large building in Chicago that is completely desolate of any kind of restaurants, which is just horrible at lunchtime. There is one sandwich shop in the bottom of our building that is swarmed with people anywhere between 11 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They developed a mobile app where all I need to do is I can create my order, send it down there, pay in advance on the app. They charge a 25-cent service fee, and then all I need to do is go down, I get to skip the line, I don't have to pay anything, all I gotta do is just pick it up. So until somebody figures out that they can take my sandwich, I'm good. The solution is there. Do you guys know of any others?
In many parts of the world, isn't it very common for people to use their cell phones to pay? In Finland for years, Scandinavia, I mean, it was one place for years that you've been able to do this. In the United States, we haven't necessarily found that the mobile, and it might, organizations like Verizon, organizations like AT&T like to have an account and like to have an account where you're spending money on that account and you're maintaining sort of that billable relationship through them as opposed to establishing other billable relationships. It's not that they're stupid and they haven't decided that that would be a good thing for them to do. I just don't know what is the challenge, whether it's a point of sale issue, whether or not there's some agreements that need to happen in terms of how we actually reconcile accounts after this sort of stuff is done, and whether or not it can be connected with a credit card. And it's better to be connected with a credit card or your bill. I don't know. So I wish I could answer, but I can't.
Are you billing your credit card when you eat your sandwich?
Yes.
So yours is a credit card, not to your cell phone.
No.
What's that app?
Come up afterwards, I'll show it to you. It's actually a company that does it. I did see a device, actually, that looked kind of interesting. You could plug it into your iPhone and then use that to scan a physical credit card. Have you seen that? That looked actually really neat, too. Where did I see that? Was that on, that might have been in Sky Mall. All right, well, we'll be up here if you'd like to come up and chat. If you were one of those 5 questions that I read off, come up and get your Groupon coupon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.